Here's what you missed on Phathead and Cande in the morning. Weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.
My Country 96.1, Phathead, Cande, Roth. Got our food drive. Don't forget, food fight against hunger. Compare Foods, Route 112, Patchogue, Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 6, both days. Cande, I know you're very interested in my parents, the Thanksgiving.
I love them. Yes, I want to know.
All right, so two different topics here. The first is my parents originally said, for me, my sisters, all the kids, there's 16 of us, all of us to be together at their house for Thanksgiving.
Oh, Governor Cuomo, are you listening?
As of yesterday, we have canceled those plans, Cande.
Oh, you did the right thing.
We're going to do the right thing. Now, it's going to be interesting around here because my in-laws are coming into town. They will be here. They don't do anything where they live, so they
don't do anything.
They're supposedly safe. They're coming into town, and we'll see what the dynamic is and what happens out here, for Thanksgiving. But I'm not going to my parents, Cande.
I think that's wise. Because nobody wants to get sick for sure. And Evan, he's getting a COVID test, and now the big thing is, he lives in New York City. So no mass transit. If he's coming here after he tests and quarantines, he has to take an Uber. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
An Uber there, an Uber back, because I'm not, you get tested, great. Then you go on the subway. I mean, really, what's the point of it?
And look, we know we can't control everybody out there. We have no say in what people do. But we are here, Phathead and Cande, trying to do the right thing. We suggest you guys do the right thing. And sure, you can yell and scream at the radio and say you're going to have 30 or 40 people over. That's your prerogative. Stay away from me. And I think it's the wrong thing to do. I think it's
so.
the wrong.
This year, I think so, yes.
Let's have a little, I like to call it a little willpower, Cande. Let everyone buckle down and do the right thing to protect their neighbor.
And think of it this way. If, for heaven's sake, you do go and you get your mother sick, you'll never live with yourself again.
Right, that's the biggest thing.
A life of torment. So let's all do the right thing.
Well, and I was talking to DJ Deuce yesterday, and he was saying the same thing. He said, we are going to, he's been not working certain jobs and doing certain things and DJing and stuff. He says, look, I cannot bring this home to my family. Can't do it.
No.
So yeah, you gotta do the right thing. So as far as my parents, I told you, me and Leah FaceTimed my parents yesterday.
Aw.
We went upstairs to her room. It was nice and quiet. We checked in with them, and we learned some very interesting things.
What did we learn?
My parents were in the middle of making dinner. My father was showing us how he takes a raw hamburger from Costco out of the freezer, defrosts it for 2 minutes and in the microwave, and then microwaves the burger.
Ew.
He is having microwaved hamburgers. Meanwhile, hold on, we'll get back to that in a second. Put that in a placeholder. At the same time, my mother is toasting bread, putting mayo on it, hand crushing with like a crusher sardines out of a can and having a sardine and mayo sandwich on toasted bread, Cande.
Sardines are very good for you. I like them.
I'm sure my mother's glowing right now listening to you.
I happen to really like sardines. In fact, I might have some today.
I said to Leah, if you're 60 years old and you FaceTime me and I am in a house microwaving burgers and chopping up sardines, please come get me. Please come get me.
My father ate sardines. I grew up on it, really. I mean, I tasted here and there, but he was a big sardine guy. They're very good for you.
Well, listen, okay, fine, but that's dinner for my mother. Then we get on the topic of temperature taking and how it was different for us as kids, where my mom would say, "Go lay down on the bed, pull the pants down, go lay down on the bed, gotta take your temperature."
Let's not talk about that. Oh,
right. So Leah's like, what? She had to have my father say it a couple of times. She's like, "What do you mean?" And we tried to explain.
You don't think about that, but they don't know what that's all about.
We tried to explain to her there were different ways to take temperature back in the day, and her jaw was on the floor. Could not believe it, Cande.
It must be very shocking to discover that. I have to agree.
So He said, ask Cande tomorrow, and I'm sure you had it the same way, Cande. The same way.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then one more for you. He starts to tell me a story about when he was in the orchestra as a kid playing bass fiddle in his high school orchestra. And years later, with his family, me included, I was born, we were at the Catskills, and he ran into another bass fiddle guy singing in a band in the Catskills, and he went up to him to say hi, and the guy pretended that he didn't know him.
Oh my goodness, that's terrible.
And he told this whole story about it, and again, I was like, wow, you learn the most interesting things from your...
That?
Just FaceTime your
Always
parents.
something new. They don't tell you everything. I can guarantee that.
You never know. So it was an eye-opening night, but the overall theme was we are not going to them for Thanksgiving. We are going to keep them safe, Cande.
Yes, and we're not microwaving hamburgers, and that's definitely true.
And that is that. My Country 96.1.
Phathead and Cande in the morning, weekdays 6 to 10 a.m. on My Country 96.1.